Welcome back to the channel, folks, and welcome to a Nico Robin OPO9 deck tech. Today we're going to take a look at my Nico Robin deck that I am currently running in this format, and let's see what you guys think about it. Here we go.
To learn our true history and to share it with the whole world.
Alright, so Nico Robin is a purple-yellow 4-life leader with Banish, and Banish is whenever this character deals damage, you basically trash the life card and it does not activate triggers. And it also has, when attacking, you may trash one card from your hand with trigger, and then you may add one Dawn card rested from your Dawn deck to your Dawn rested. So that is what our leader does. And let's take a look at our deck, starting with the 0 drops. I have 2 You're the One Who Should Disappear. This is a good trigger if it's in your life and you're like down towards the last. If you have 0 life cards, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to your life. So this card I normally just discard when I attack with Robin to ramp 1 Dawn. And in a pinch, you can use the counter ability. So I have 2 of those. Next up, we have 3 Gum Gum Giants. Counter -2 Dawn, 1 cost, purple. You trash 1 card from your hand. Then if your leader has Straw Hat Crew, which Nico Robin does, you give your leader character plus 4,000 power during this battle, and you draw 2 cards. Drawing the 2 cards is very, very, very important. Lets you get some more counter cards in your hand, and great card. I only run 3 because sometimes if I have 4, I just have too many in my hand, and yeah. If I'm trying to rely on this, it means something has gone wrong, and we're losing probably either way, so I only run 3. Next up, I do run 4 Nico Olivia's. This is a 2k counter. That is one of the main reasons to play it. Also, it has on play, your Nico Robin gets plus 3,000 power, so for 1 Dawn, you give your leader plus 3,000. This is great, like on the first turn you can attack in the game. You just drop this down, and then you can swing with Nico, and that's 8 or 9, depending on how much Dawn you have. 9,000 power attack, like on the first attack of the game. They're gonna banish a card. This was a good trigger. If your leader is Nico Robin, you can draw 3 cards and trash 2 cards. So that's a good trigger as well. But normally this is, if all else fails, this is a 2k counter. So I do run 4 of those. I run 1 Professor Clover. It's also a 2k counter. And on play, if your leader is Nico Robin, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal 1 card with trigger, add it to your hand, place the rest on the bottom, and then its trigger is to do the on-play effect. So another 2k counter. I'm not sure, this will probably get replaced, but it's kind of themed. It's kind of a theme, Nico Robin theme deck. So alright, we also have Onami. This is a great card. On the trigger, it KOs one opponent's character with a cost of 5 or less, but the on-play ability is also amazing. You can give up to one of your other characters Banish, so you can attack with your Nico Robin leader with Banish, then you can play this attack with another character with Banish, and Banish, Banish, Banish. But this is, by far, this is the most amazing off the trigger. You're just like, oh, you just kind of sometimes just blow them out of the water. They just attack you, and you're like, oh, I gotta take it. Then trigger, you kill something, and it's like, aha, I gotcha. So I run 3 of those. Next up, we got our Gang Beige, Capone Gang Beige. This is another 2,000 counter, and its trigger is you trigger this, your opponent's leader or a character cannot attack. So say they have a bunch of attackers on board and they hit you, and you're like, ooh, you can trigger this, and their next attacker or leader cannot attack that turn. So that can save you sometimes, and also it is a 2k counter. Now, sometimes some might argue I should run 4 of these and then, just take out the Professor Clover, but I don't know. I kind of like the diversity, and I like the theme of the Robin cards. Alright, I do run 1 Brulee. It is a blocker, and its on-play ability is to play this card And, you know, I just kind of like this little sparkly foiling we got going on there. So I run one of those. Next up, I have 3 Jewelry Bonnies. 1 Dawn on your turn, once per turn. When a card is removed from your opponent's life cards, draw 2 cards and trash 1 card. So you don't even really have to attack with this. You just, on your turn, attach a Dawn to it, and then if you hit with your leader or another character, you can activate this ability to draw 2 cards and then trash a card. This is also a good trigger. Draw 2 cards, trash a card, and worst comes to shove, push comes to shove, it is a 1k counter, so I have 3 of those for the card advantage aspect. Alright, next up I have 3 Jaguar D Saul. He is a 5,000 power, 3 cost blocker, and his trigger is if your leader is Nico Robin, play this character. This guy saves my butt a lot. He comes off of the life and he's in play, and you have a blocker. I also attack with him a lot because he is, you know, 5,000 power. A lot of times, if your opponent attacks you and you get this off, a trigger, you don't have, your next turn, you can swing with this guy because he's no longer, he's been on the field, so you can swing with him. And yeah, so a lot of times they won't expect that if he just comes off the life and you just turn around and swing. Alright, one of Kikunojo for 6,000. On KO, if your opponent has 3 or less life cards, add 1 life card from the top of your deck to your life. So, and this also has a trigger. If your opponent has 3 or less life cards, you can play this card. So this is also a, great little trigger. You get to play this card for free. The only sad part of it is it doesn't have any counters, so that's why I only have 1 of these. I kind of need the counters. Alright, this is a little cheeky one of. The only reason it's in this deck is because, Zoro and Robin, they go together. So this is a just a vanilla Roanoke Zoro, 4 cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter. His trigger is kind of nice though. KO up to one of your opponent's characters that cost a 4 or less. So a lot of time though, I will, if I attack with my leader, I'll just discard this card to ramp it on. But other than that, cool art. Zoro goes with Robin. We all know that. Alright, then I have 3 Sanji blockers. I know a lot of people don't run Sanji blockers. I don't know why. But yes, I run 3 of these. 4 cost, 5,000 power. Trash a card from your hand, play this card as the trigger. And yeah, like I said, you can attack with blockers, friends. You don't have to just block with them. You can attack with blockers. So I have this amazing art, so definitely have to run this card. So I have 3 of those. Next up, I have 3 Frankies. 2k counter, 4 cost, 5,000. Trigger, draw a card. Then if you have 1 or less life cards, you can play this. Another character you can counter with, or, he comes off a life, you can draw a card, then swing with him. Alright, one of 5 cost, 5,000 power, Miss All Sunday. On play, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. Then if you have 6 or more Dawn cards on your field, draw a card. And then the trigger is -2 Dawn to play this card and do this effect. So only one of, because it doesn't have any counter. And a lot of times this is another card I will pitch with my Nico Robin to ramp a Dawn. But all else fails, you can, ramp a Dawn and then draw a card. Alright, removal. I have 4 Namis, the Egghead Straw Hat Nami, 1,000 counter, 5 cost, 5,000 power. On play, trash a card from your hand with trigger, then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Then if you have 3 or less cards in your hand, draw a card. So this is a good removal card. It is kind of sad that you have to pitch a card, but it is what it is. That's the removal we got. And yes, so I do run 4 of those. Alright, then I got lucky and I pulled this amazing Monkey D. Luffy. 5 cost, 6,000 power. I run 4 of these. And this is a Activate main. You may trash this character if you have 2 or less life cards. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less, then draw a card. So this kind of helps with the Blackbeard stuff. You know, they on-play effects are no good against Blackbeard, so this activate main kind of allows you to get around that. And look at that art. Just look at that. So yeah, 4 of those. So as much removal as I can get. Alright, I have 1 Lucy, 6 cost, 7,000 attacker, attacking once per turn. You may add 1 card from the top of or the bottom of your life cards to your hand. You may rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. Then if you have 1 or less life cards, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. So this helps rest, blockers, and then you can attack. Only 1 because no counter, and it does cost 6. So yeah, it's another when attacking thing, so not an on-play effect. So that's kind of nice for Blackbeard. Alright, I have 2 of these Nico Robins, the demon form. This is a 6 cost, 6,000 power, 1k counter. On play, if your opponent has 3 or more life cards, you just immediately trash 1 card from the top of their life. And then trigger, play up to 1 yellow character, it costs 3 or less from your hand. I don't think I've ever used this trigger. This card isn't always the best in all matchups, but I mean, look at the art. You kind of have to have it in the Robin deck. So I have 2 of these, and yes, hopefully this card's gone up in price, so I'll probably just have the 1, but pretty cool. Alright, we're getting it towards our top end. I have 2 of the Sanjis, 7 cost, 7,000 power, 1k counter. On play, you may return 1 Don from one of your Don cards from your field to your Don deck. This character gains Rush during this turn. Then you may rest up to one of your opponent's characters that costs 6 or less, so this is a Rusher. And I have noticed that I really need some kind of Rush effect. In a lot of my matchups, I'll be like, just like one attack away from winning, and it'll just be like 1 turn too short. So I just added 2 of these, so hopefully I can win some of those matchups where I'm just like 1 turn behind. Alright, right now I only have 1 Charlotte Katakuri, and so it's 8 cost, 8,000 power. On play, add up to 1 character cost of 8 or less to the top or bottom of its owner's life cards face up. So you can put back a trigger from your field back into your life, or you can get rid of one of your opponent's blockers or one of their pesky characters that's, dealing you, getting on your nerves. Just put it back in their life. But only 1 of these, no counter, 8 cost, kind of an expensive card. So far right now, only 1. I know a lot of decks run 2, but alright, I have 1 Charlotte Lenlen, 9 cost, 9,000 power. On play, -1 Don. You may trash 1 card from your hand. Add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. Then add up to one of your opponent's characters that costs 6 or less to the top or bottom of their life cards face up. So like I said, this is another card that gets rid of a pesky attacker / blocker. And yeah, so 9,000 is pretty good power level. Last but not least, I have 3 Yamatos. Most decks run 4, but like if I draw too many of these, it's not good. It doesn't have any triggers, so I can't discard it to ramp, and sometimes like it's so late in the game that the on-play effect doesn't really kill any of their creatures, because all their creatures are really big by the time usually you get to Yamato. All their small creatures have already been dealt with. So yeah, but anyways, 9 cost, 9,000 power. On play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than the total of life you and your opponent's life cards. Then if you have 1 or less life cards, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. So like I said, a lot of times this comes out a little late, and all their characters are, out of the kill range because of, how late in the game it is. But you do get to, usually if you play this, you want to wait until you need to add a life back to the top of your life pile. So this will save you, but I only run 3 because if you draw too many of these, early game, then you're just, you know, you're in a world of hurt. All right, let's open some packs here. I have 4 of these tournament packs, volume 5. Only 1 card in each of these, and I don't know what my options are here, so hopefully we'll get something good. All right, first card. Ooh, Eustace Captain Kidd. Very cool. Next up, ooh, a Crocodile blocker. Very nice. Another Crocodile. All right. Last pack. And we got, oh, a Kaido. Very cool. Well, guys, thank you for checking out this video. You can take a screenshot of this deck if you'd like. Let me know in the comments below what cards you're running in your Nico Robin deck, and like what numbers of the, you know, the Frankies, and if you're running any Sanjis and so on and so forth. Until next time, adios.